All right, good morning, traders, and welcome to the Bookmap All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We'll be going through live order flow in real time. It's not hindsight, and we do that because you can with order flow. So, for example, if you're looking at your candlestick charts and indicators, etc., well, yeah, I mean, you can trade in front of people and trade live, but uh, you're not really getting a whole lot of transparency in order flow. You get a lot more insight to the depth of market, the transactions taking place within that liquidity, and that's where you can get an edge with the order flow. All right, so that's what we'll go through. And at the moment, we're having a deal. The deals continue over here at Bookmap. So if you were looking to get a hold of Bookmap at a discount, well, that time has passed. You cannot any longer. The Cyber Monday deal is over. The Black Friday deal was over last week. And that's a pity. Some really nice deals there if you didn't take advantage of it. However, we are having a really great deal. We've never done this before on our MBO bundle. And it's for the first month only. It's 50% off. A lot of people have requested this, and this is why we decided to include it, is because there is no trial for it. And there is no kind of lifetime or you can't purchase it for longer than a month. So you can resubscribe every month automatically. But so if you want to try it, this is the time. And I'll show you how to do that. Go to bookmap.com. And then you'll see the deal right up here on the top, and it says use this coupon code. So to claim the deal, let's click on this. Okay, it ends end of the year, so you have until the 31st of December. So now scroll down. Okay, here's the add-ons deal. Here it's good for another 18 days, and then this is where you go. I click here, visit the marketplace. Okay, that'll take you here. You'll see the MBO bundle, okay, hold on a minute. Yeah, here we go. And then what you do is just add it to your cart. Once you've added it to your cart, and then on checkout, that's when you'll need to, oops, hold on a minute. That's when you'll need to input the coupon code here, 50% off. Okay, so I'm going to put this into the chat in YouTube and also here in Discord. So that's how you claim it and go through the process, check out, and you're good to go. Okay. All right, let me know if you have any questions on it. We're going to go through it. We've been going through a lot of content on it in real time. It's not hindsight. So, for example, we did this webinar here, how to use MBO data in Bookmap. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I don't think we did anything Thursday, but we did multiple events, and we did this MBO bundle, ask us anything, ask me anything, with Vadim, the developer of the MBO bundle, and Scott Pulcini was on that as well, and we went through all of this in detail, answered your questions, and all the different features and functionality, and there was others as well, other webinars that covered this in detail. So we have lots of content on it. We can continue on and answer your questions in this webinar today if you do. All right, so let's go through the disclosures, and then let's jump in to the live markets. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Okay, let's jump in. And immediately here, I am looking at the S&P E-mini with the MBO bundle. And one of the indicators in that MBO bundle is the Trader Map Pro. Okay, I'm looking at it right here. In fact, let's put in 1 hour of data. Okay, and look at the chart here. Okay, look at the heat map in here. You know, high liquidity up in here. This is supply. Also down here, a little bit lower, this is supply. Look at the demand kind of pushes price up into that area. And then some of it gets filled in here and some of it pulls. And then we see sellers take it down. Look at the high liquidity down here and a little bit of a bounce, a push through, high liquidity down here, and it bounces. Okay, now what I want to show is the difference between this chart and the regular ES chart. Okay, why does it look so different in here? We'll put in 1 hour of data as well. It looks completely different because there is this algo in here that is very, very high liquidity. Look, 425 orders on one side on the offer and 390 on the bid here. And that's the issue here. They are blowing out the heat map. Okay, well, we found a creative way to get rid of this algo activity. And that's why it looks so much cleaner and better in here in the TraderMap Pro or the TraderMap Lite version. Okay, so this will help your trading. You'll get more insight to this liquidity in here than you would off of your regular ES chart. Okay, now you don't have to have the MBO bundle for this. This TraderMap Pro is enhanced version. It offers more filtering than the TraderMap Lite. However, the TraderMap Lite is free. Okay, the TraderMap Pro is included in the MBO bundle. Look at the bid down here right now. Look at how they're chasing back up. And trying to push price. You know, we're seeing interest on the bid at these higher levels. Well, let's see if we can get up into the 72 level here. Okay, maybe even higher. You know, so anyway, just we'll jump into the order flow in just a minute. I just wanted to outline one of the advantages of looking at the TraderMap Pro or TraderMap Lite in Bookmap. Okay, it depends on the instrument you're using. The ES right now has had this algo in here for several months. The NQ and the Russell also have it, so we have also TraderMap Pro on those versions as well. You can trade from this chart with TraderMap Pro or TraderMap Lite. You can also get stops and icebergs on this chart. Okay, it's here. You can see only on chart though. Okay, here's a stop run. Here's another stop run. There's our move. That's what we were looking for. Here's a stop run up into that move. Okay, so lots of depth and insight that we're seeing in here. All right, let me know if you have any questions on that. I'm happy to go through it in detail. We're going to, what our lesson plan is today is to go through, well, first off, let me throw it back to you guys in Discord or in YouTube. Let's pick a strategy. I was just going to go with support and resistance or supply and demand. And if there's something that I can show in here, maybe trend lines, maybe a cumulative volume delta, we can look at candlesticks in here and start to understand candlesticks patterns with order flow. Just let me know something, and then I'll show you how you can optimize that trading system using Bookmap. All right, so just throwing it out there, see what you guys think. Okay, if I don't get an answer here, then I'm just going to go with support and resistance, and then maybe also candles. Okay, maybe some indicators as well. But as you guys know, I'm not too big on the indicators. Anyway, let's take a look here. All right. Well, we just went above the little swing here, right up into this high liquidity. This was the move we were looking for, right into this kind of 72-ish area, and we have a swing there as well. Okay, this one here. Now it went up a little bit higher and didn't break this swing though up here, and we see a stop run of 209 contracts. Okay, so now we see the move back down, trading into liquidity on the bid down here. Let's take a look at this liquidity. How did they act down here? Now this is down at a swing as well. Okay, well they're starting to pull that liquidity. Okay, so do I want to be a buyer down here? Not really. It may come back up into 75 or 72. We don't know. But other traders in here are telling me that they don't have high demand in here because they pulled it away in here, as you can see. Okay, so I would be more in line to be a buyer down here at 66 or 64. And I want to see these transactions take place. Okay, so this is the demand down here. These are demand zones. Okay, we can mark that up in here. So this is our kind of big demand zone in here. Okay, this is low of the day down here as well. All right, and now we can even, I don't think this is a high probability trade. We'll take a shot at it though. Let's see if on the bottom edge in here, let's actually, we'll set a, I don't want to put 2 in. We'll just put in 1. We'll put in 2. I'm going to do them separately though. Oops. That was a mistake, but let's run with it. Okay, so I'm looking for sellers in here. Since this is kind of quasi demand down here, I'm looking for these sellers because we know that the buyers met the sellers over here. Now I'm looking for these sellers to meet the buyers down here. Okay, so and that just took us into the position, and I want to get out of the position in front of that high liquidity down here. Okay, and I'm looking to break this candle's end here, where the low of this candle here. Now it just did, okay, by a couple ticks, and it's back in the range now. Okay. So now going through very, very simple idea is supply and demand. Okay, this is economics 101. If we look at the, and here comes our supply, okay, trying to meet that demand down here. Okay, so we're out our first contract, and we have our second one down here. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit. Is that a little too lofty? Are we looking to break the and go to new lows for the day? Maybe, but the demand is here, right? So why don't we just move our take profit up to there? Okay, and that'll be that. Now, this is another thing that we've been talking about supply and demand in here. On the limit buy and sell orders, okay, the liquidity. Okay, this is liquidity here. These are limit orders in the order book. They want to be buyers here, and you can see them kind of pulling away. So they want to be buyers down here now. Okay, and the aggressors trying to meet those buyers. Are they going to take it to new lows of the day? Well, that's where we're positioned. Okay, it looks like we're just about to get filled. There we go. Okay, so we're filled. And that's all we were looking for in here, was this move. Okay, we don't know. Are we going to, we'll take a look at it. And do we see a lot of supply in here by the aggressors? If so, and we see them pulling demand here, liquidity, then we're likely to go lower. Okay, so let me take a step back here, and we'll go through this again. All right. So let me clean up the charts, and we'll start afresh. And I'm also going to get rid of my orders in here. All right, we'll bring them back on, or the trading back in. Okay, we're just going to go through supply and demand. And what you're seeing very simply here, a couple of the elements in Bookmap. All right, so one is these limit orders in the heat map. This is all derived from the order book. Okay, the COB column here stands for current order book, and that's what you are looking at here. Hold on a minute. Just want to get a couple columns up. That's what you're looking at here, COB. These numerical values, these are liquidity. These are the number of contracts on the offer. They want to be sellers at these price levels. And down here, and this is the lit book, okay? And they want to be buyers down here. All right, so this is live. This vertical white line separates the live market here with best bid and offer from the historical view over here, the best bid and offer over time. Okay, so now, yeah, we're gonna kind of simplify this. And I know guys over in Discord, please don't roll your eyes. This is we're just going to go through it rather quickly, but it is important to understand or revisit supply and demand. I feel. Let's take everything off the chart. Okay, we still have the icebergs on, so hold on just a minute. Even take those off now. Okay, back to our Trader Map Pro. Okay, this is just best bid and offer. This is showing you pure price action. When you're looking at your candlestick charts, put it back on, you're not looking at pure price action whatsoever. You're looking at aggregated data within some sort of period. And in this case, it is a 5-minute period. Okay, if we zoom in, or I'm sorry, zoom out, it is still, 5-minute period. Okay, so we have something in there that allows you to have the candlesticks change when you zoom out. Anyway, every 5 minutes, open, high, low, and close is what you get. Okay, you don't see what happened in between that period, and there's a lot going on in here. Okay, you just see that this is a shooting star potentially above that little area here, and then you see the sellers come in. Okay, that's what you see. You don't know how much volume traded up here. You don't know how much time was spent up here. Here we have everything. Okay? In fact, this is exactly how this move unfolded. When this period ended here, price went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It broke out into all that high liquidity that we saw, which we'll cover in a minute. And then it broke right back down. And then we see the we were looking for the break again into high liquidity, and that's what we saw as a tradable action. Okay, so all this price action in here is really important to understand, because look how it based here. Okay, it couldn't break this for a while, and then it finally did. Okay, this works on all time frames. If we zoom out, you're going to look at some of the same things about here's your consolidation, your break, your retest, and then breakdown. But we're looking at it in a more kind of micro scale in here. All right, so now we understand the price action, pure price action, but we don't know where the transactions are taking place. Okay, the market buy and sell orders. So let's put those on chart. Okay, here we go. All right, so we've got it in the bars down here, and we've got it in the dots. The dots are showing you precisely where the most volume or least volume is trading. Okay, the bigger the size of the dot, the more that transacted. And the red dots are market sell orders. This is the aggressor that moves price lower. And the green dots are market buy orders, and these are the aggressors that lift the offer and move price higher. That's it. That's all we're looking at. Okay, but now look at our candles in here. Now you know what happened between these two candles. Look at this move up here. A lot of buy volume. Surprising on this breakout up in here. Okay, surprising to see. It's a pretty big buy volume. Did they get any traction with it? We can answer these questions in here that you simply cannot answer by looking at your volume bars that are separated from your price action. Okay, here you can see this very clearly. Now, they were able to trade higher, but they were not able to go higher than that. And look at the sellers that come right back in and bring it right back down to the bottom of this range in here. So what happened in here? Well, we don't know. We're just kind of guessing in here. We know where the volume transacted, but we don't know who's taking the other side of the trade. And that's where the heat map comes in. It is showing you the other side of the trade. And if we look at the heat map, here it is. This is what we saw in real time. It traded into this high liquidity in here. In fact, look at the dynamic in here. Not only did it trade into this high liquidity in here, we also noted they were bidding up in these areas underneath the swing low. And that is bullish. Okay, they want to be buyers at a higher level. Right? And we see the move up into, and we were looking for that move up into this 72 liquidity here, and we got it. And then we're looking, well, what's the next thing? Well, we know that we traded into all of these sellers up here. Okay, these aggressors, these buyers, met the sellers in here. And we're finding more sellers down below that area now, trading into some of these areas. Okay, and they're pulling though. See how they're kind of pulling, how it got dark in here in the heat map? That means there's less liquidity. So we were looking for the move into 66 and then 64. Okay, and that happened. We got lucky, or we were prepared for that move, and it unfolded. Okay, so there's two kinds of supply and there's two kinds of demand, and this is important to understand. And it is the context between these buyers and sellers. Okay, so let's take the heat map off for just a minute. I'll just bring it down. The aggressors is one sort of supply and demand. Okay, so the demand is by the aggressors here, the market buy and sell orders that move price, they're showing demand. Okay, and this is extreme demand, or not extreme, I would say, but like it's showing they're not so patient. They're willing to buy at market. Okay, they're not trying to get a deal. They're not trying to say, no, I won't be a buyer here. I'll be a buyer down below, and I'll wait for my price. They're not doing that. They're jumping in. And it's like, I want to buy a buyer now because I think price is going higher and I don't want to be left behind. Okay, these guys move the market. So that's one kind of demand. And then here's the other kind of supply in here, or the same kind of same issue. It's just now it's supply in here. Okay, it's not demand. So this is demand. Okay, aggressive demand. This is aggressive supply. Okay, that moves price lower. All right, now we want to understand also supply and demand by the in the heat map here. Okay, and I'm going to take the volume dots off for a moment, and we'll just go through that supply and demand. This is passive supply and demand. They are waiting in the order book at specific areas. That's where they want to deal. These guys are advertising and telling us they will be buyers at these levels down here, and that these sellers up here, this is supply, they will be sellers up here. And that's all it is. It's all derived from the order book and the liquidity in here and your depth of market. So yeah, we understand the passive supply and demand, and we also understand now the aggressive supply and demand. It is the context between the two that we want to understand. Okay, how much aggressive demand is there compared to the passive supply? If there is more aggressive demand in here, they will go to the next level of liquidity or supply up here, passive supply up here. Okay, this is economics 101. Do you guys remember your economics 101 would be like you know, your your supply and your demand crossing over. So let's suppose demand is like this and supply is like this, and that's where they meet, right? Anyway, guys, if you remember that, that's what's happening up in here. Okay, so the price went up until it and the supply went down or whatever. That's where they met and the transaction took place, and that's what we want insight to. Okay, and then we want to see what happens after that context, and then we got our answer here. Okay, our answer was that we see the sellers bring it right back down, and that these guys down here weren't so interested. They were less interested, put it that way. They started to pull some of it. Now they stayed in the book here, and that's where we got filled. All right, so any book that you've read, any video that you've seen, any kind of trading strategy that you're looking at or trading, this will help. It has to. It fits into it. This is what moves the market. These are the basic, very basic market mechanics. There's a market mechanics course out there. If you're interested, I'll show you where. If you go to bookmap.com and then go to education and then market mechanics course. Here's our getting started course, which will get you up and running, you know, with Bookmap, and it goes through all the different features in Bookmap. So this is kind of like your nuts and bolts, like learning how to use the software. So this is the market mechanics course, though, that tells you about what Bookmap is displaying in the market. Okay, so here, for example, is precisely what we were just talking about, but in a diagram simplified form. Okay, and a potential spoof, actually. Okay, so best bid and offer, the aggressor dots in here, and then the levels of supply and demand here, passive supply and demand. Okay, yes, rollover is next week. Solaris, when an order is pulled from the current market, is that liquidity still valid in the historical market? That's a really interesting question. The market kind of remembers it somehow. You know, you kind of look at it, but no, it should not matter. It should not matter at all, right? But let me show you an example here and why this is a really interesting question. Okay, we'll look at the 6E. And again, now this is just something you need to you'll need to kind of study and look for yourselves here. Okay, prove this for yourself. But look at this. See, like every point here. Look at this. Every single 4 ticks here. Every pip. You know, you're seeing in here. So this is 96. I'm sorry. Every other pip that you're seeing in here, you're seeing high liquidity. Okay, and why is that? Why does this look so different than the stock indexes? Because there's different players in different markets. It's still the same concepts in here, but it's rolled over. Okay, really? This one's already rolled over? They usually roll over much later. It's the bonds that they roll, or the interest rate products. But okay, yeah, I believe you. If Alois says it, I believe him. So hold on, let me take a look here. Add so much historical data. Did I open? Ah. Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry guys. I see what I did. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Now that should do it. Where is it? CME. See, did I just not put this in correctly? Let's try it again. 6EH4. Subscribe. Hmm. I don't know what to tell you guys. I do not have access to it right now. On a minute. Let me just look it up in the CME. Oh, oh my God. Sorry guys. Yeah, I forgot to put the 5 in. H5. There we go. Yeah. All right, New Year's. New Year's. There we go. It's been a long week. Yeah. Thanks, Alois. All right, but look, it's still the same though. It's very similar here. And let's even take a look. Did it roll? I know it says that it rolled here, but let's take a look at the volume and open interest from the CME. Now, not really. The volumes really haven't. Open interest rolled. That's for sure. Okay, volumes have not. Total volume. Total volume's not there yet. Okay, so both are valid here, but it depends on if you want to trade old open interest or new open interest. Okay, so I don't know. You can go back and forth on that. I'd go with the H5 just because liquidity looks a little bit better in here than this one here. To be honest, this looks like it's pretty done. So let's just get rid of it. Anyway, to answer your question, long-winded way to finally get to your question and answer it here is see how this supply and demand in here, they're pulling a lot of it. Okay, but the market kind of knows it, or at least from the 6E, it kind of, recognizes like, yeah, kind of dips into these areas in here. Maybe there's shorter term high liquidity that starts to get filled underneath here. You can see the transaction did happen here, okay, and here. All right, so maybe we're starting to see a little bit of dollar strength come in. We come back up in here and they pulled that liquidity. Okay, but they're pulling in lots of areas in here in the 6E. Okay, you see it all the time. However, some of these areas and swings, the market kind of remembers it a bit. This is what I've recognized on this instrument. It shouldn't matter. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's just the swing, and traders are just looking at the market structure in here. But you can see they're pulling. So the market kind of exhausts out, comes back down, and then exhausts out down here, and you get a lot of back and forth. And the larger players in here, you can see how they are hedging tremendously in here. Okay, and every other pip, you see high liquidity. You see it in the order book, current order book. You see it in the heat map. So that's something to take a look at, Solaris. I hope that helps. And let me see here. There was another question. A few other questions. You want to use Market Pulse for a quick scalp? Yeah, sure. It's a great tool for that. Training period to use? Sure, we can go over that. Familiar trader. And Cover Trader Map Pro versus Trader Map Lite. Yeah, so bring up a Trader Map Lite as well for the ES. Let's go back to the ES. Scroll down. Trader Map Lite. Okay, there's three. You see, you have three settings in here. Okay, that's all you get. They're good. They're very helpful. Play around with it. See what works best for you. Whereas with Trader Map Pro, you don't get three settings. You get all settings. Like you get a slider in there, so you can kind of really fine tune it. Here's the Trader Map Lite version. Okay, it just opened up. Okay, still kind of loading. Okay, there we go. Yeah, see, it looks pretty good. We just had a move down to lows here, guys. So pretty strong move here. Sorry to miss this. Anyway, here's that same idea that we were just covering about supply and demand. Look at all these aggressors in here. Now, typically we look for when we see the buyers meeting the sellers in here like this, we typically get some sort of kind of bounce or at least pause, and then we need to see what happens. Okay, in this case, there was just simply more sellers in here. We do get that pause for a little bit, and then the aggressive sellers come in again and move it back down into these areas in here. Now this is going to be a beautiful little stop run here, and there's still more sellers, but look at the quality of these sellers in here. Not a whole lot, right? So maybe we can trade a little lower into some of this high liquidity here. This is the figure, and then let's see if we can. There we go. Okay, maybe we can see kind of a bounce out of that area. Okay, it's about the context here against the buyers and the sellers, the supply and the demand. So like we said, usually you get a little bit of a bounce. Now this is not much or sideways action here. It's only like a point or so, but if you see enough, they'll come. We'll see buyers come back up and able to test this liquidity or supply up here. Okay, so there's your Trader Map Lite, and then here's your Trader Map Pro. Okay, Trader Map Pro has a little bit more detail in here, which is nice. Wow, that was a nice move. I'm sorry, guys, to miss that. I really am. That's a pity. Trying to answer answer some of you guys' questions in here. So yeah, okay, we're getting a little bit of a bounce around the figure here, but okay. So let me see if there's any questions on this. Carlson, hello. Okay, yeah, I remember you were banned, Carlson. Yeah, we'll consider it, but I'm not going to answer you now on that. You had bad behavior in there, and we don't want that in our Discord. So anyway, what is so special? What is special about the MBO bundle package? Okay, so let's go over that because let's get some deeper insight to what it is showing. All right, and be happy to go through this. Now, I just let's just end up with this supply and this demand idea in here. It's just so critical, and when we I kind of was answering questions in here and kind of we got a little distracted here, and then we see some really big move in here. We're here to answer your questions, but we're also here to cover the order flow in the live market. It's really important. All right. Anyway, supply and demand is the name of the game in here. And now it is different than support and resistance. Okay, support and resistance this is support here. You know, well, we saw that, we assume that there's buyers in here because price kind of bounced after testing here 3 times. That is support. But is it demand? Not really. You know, we see the demand down here. And now it's starting to show a little bit more interest here, okay, at 50. That's it. Okay. So anyway, this context in here is what we want to understand and what we want to read. Okay, so we want to understand both sides, okay, the passive and the aggressive, and that context between the two. Sometimes that context, it changes all the time, and that's why you can't, you know, this isn't like some sort of math equation in here with the markets. It just doesn't work like that. It's just all about the behavior of participants in the auction here, and they are participating with their orders. That's how they're able to make any impact in here, is via their orders. Therefore, order flow is what matters, and the supply and demand is what matters. Okay, and is the context between these two aggressors and these two passive players as well. Okay, so we're going to just go through that context, and we're going to go through the swings, the price levels as well. Okay, because we want to look at these important price levels. We can, if you guys want to hyper scalp, we can. You know, you can look for moves up into these areas in here if you get enough momentum to come in here by the buyers. You know, we're reading that in here. Do you see a lot of sellers? No. Okay, well, let's see if the buyers can still push it. Let's see if we get, there we go. Let's see them push it up a little bit higher. Maybe this 57 area, 58 liquidity. Okay, just by understanding the aggressive behavior in here, reading that, and then reading it now. Look, they're kind of running out of steam. So we get a pullback. Okay, interestingly enough, that's after trading into some high liquidity here. Right, so that's where you might cut the scalp, you know, something like that. And then let's read it again. All right, so now we pull back. Do we pull back to some demand in here? Not really. Do we see demand on the other side though by the aggressors? A little bit. Okay, so then let's see if we can get demand up here, and if we do, we can even get involved into the trade. Okay, and let's see if we get it. A little bit. Okay, see it trade up there, but it's very little. There it did again. We need to see a lot more than that. Just nothing. Well, anyway, okay, here we go. Let's see if we can get a little more demand coming in here by the aggressor. There they are. There they go. Okay, so we're in, and we're going to get out really quickly too, up here. Okay, so are we getting demand up here still? Do we see momentum? Not yet. In fact, we're seeing some sellers here. See if we can get a little bit higher. And if we don't, then we're going to get out of the trade. Okay, this is a very, very small kind of micro. It's not really micro, but you know, it's a very low time frame here, and we're looking for that supply and demand in here. Okay, so now we're getting our aggressors, and let's see if they can reach that 57 liquidity. And no, see, look up here, no trend. Now we see more demand or more supply here coming in, and there's our context. They trade into it. Okay. Anyway, I think I'm just going to exit this, and that'll be a small loss. But you guys get the idea in here, right? There's now good time to get out. So we're looking for it, and we actually did get something out of that. It did trade into this high. See how the higher liquidity came in these areas here. Now it's not really high liquidity, but it did come in. We didn't see that behavior before. Okay, and we do see that the buyers met these sellers here, and we didn't find enough buyers after there. Here's our exhaustion, no buying up here, and here's our selling, and our selling again. That's where we got out. Okay, anyway, supply and demand. Let's continue on with it, and then I'll do this with candlesticks. Okay, so in this little range in here in the S&P, let's take a look at these candles. Okay, so now we've got a range here defined by this green candle here, and look at what happened after. Almost completely engulfed here. More sellers. Okay, so that's pretty bearish, and we can look for the same thing here. As if we can get more sellers down at the bottom edge, they'll likely trade down to this, and we can even take a position on that again. Let's see if we get filled. There we did. Okay, and then I'm just looking for it to break down to this demand down here. Okay, so that's it. That's all we're looking for. Okay, they're starting to show a little bit more demand at a higher level right in here. See that? See that? And look what happened. There's our context. Okay, so we found more demand here as well as more demand here by the aggressors. Okay, so we got kind of a double demand in here. Okay, so now see how they're pulling that liquidity. We have sellers in here. Looks like they want to test these guys. Let's see. Okay, so this is an interesting one. I mean, we see this all the time. I mean, here we have this a demand come in, right? And this demand come in here, passive demand. This is where we're looking for more demand, right back to where these guys initiated. Now I'm not seeing them. Now they may come in, we don't know. But if we're not seeing them and we're starting to see sellers down here, anyone who bought in here is going to get stopped out on the way back down, and that'll lead us into stops and icebergs. There we go. There we go. Okay, so we got filled on that. We didn't find enough. Now we see the demand come in. Okay, so now let's take a look at this candlestick pattern in here, supply and demand. Okay, so in this little range in here is what we were just talking about on this candle. Okay, this is very clear what happened here. Okay, I mean sellers came in and they're controlling the market at the moment. All right, and then we see the bounce down at the figure of 60, 50. Okay, and they met these buyers, aggressive buyers met the passive sellers in here, and then that's where we're looking for that little move back up a little bit higher, and we didn't get it, and then we got out because we didn't get it, and then that was a good idea. And then down here, we're going through the same thing. Okay, well, what does the current candlestick pattern look like? Well, it was totally engulfing this candle here. Okay, the sellers were. So we came up with this idea then. Okay, well, then these sellers should be able to test into this liquidity and break into this lower level in here. Okay, because we know that there's more sellers. So there's your engulfing pattern, and there's just a small move into high liquidity down here, and that's where we got out. All right, these are simple examples but you can zoom out. You can look at these on much higher time frames as well. And let's look at that in our candlestick patterns in here. Here I have the ES on the left side is the daily, the hourly here in the middle, and the 15-minute chart on the right. Okay, now what happened here in the well, let's start with the daily. Okay, the daily is showing some weakness in here. No question. So well, we're at the bottom of the last few days is showing some weakness because look at the wick up here on this one. In fact, let me have a look back period. A month. Okay, there we go. So on the daily, we tested up here and it failed. It didn't even make the swing high up here from previous day. Okay, and then we see selling pressure and we're down below the swing from yesterday. Okay, I'm looking for sellers to drive price down into these levels here for today. And this is at least here where these the swing from low from a couple days ago. Okay, but this is pretty powerful move in here, I think. When you see that retest and then you see more sellers again. So let's look at the hourly. Okay, well, you see this kind of gap up and then the move back down. So we're looking for the move into where about this 43 area, 60, 43 or 40, somewhere around there. Where is that here? Okay, that would be down here. Okay, here's 43, and then here's 40. That swing down here. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. All right, so now let's take a look at the 15-minute chart. And how are we getting down there? Well, we can see this pullback in here, and then we see the sellers come back in again, and we still have momentum to the downside. And I'm still looking for the move lower. All right, let's put the stops and icebergs on here, and let's go through that. Okay, and how to use your stops and icebergs. All you have to do is turn them on the original chart here, and then you can go to your TraderMap Pro or TraderMap Lite version, and then you'll see them here. Okay, so remember how we said we were looking for a stop run in here? We got it, 793, pretty big one. Yeah, here's a 1432 stop run here, so that's huge. Okay, so this is one way to get additional insight into using your this is what is truly special about the MBO bundle is two of these indicators in here that show stops and icebergs. Okay, on chart and sub chart. This one will show it on chart here with the TraderMap Pro. So let's see if we can get our move again lower here. Okay, and just have to take a shot at it. All right, we already had our pullback, so now, hey, we don't know. And look at, I'm buying lows of the day in here. It's pretty bad. And let's just go into this high liquidity here at 45. Okay, another quick little scalp here. It's like a 3-point scalp or so. We don't know, right? But one thing that I'll cover here in just a minute about this potential move and why I'm interested in selling down here right now is about the pullback. Okay, and I'll cover that in just a minute. But the stops and icebergs, let's go over that. I'm looking for another stop run in here. Okay, Arturo. Let's see if we can get another one in here. And now we might get squeezed. And we might find the demand come in after and get these guys to be and us get stopped out. Okay, buying or selling the lows in here. Okay, this is the risk that we're taking. In fact, I'm going to flatten that right there, just because I'm not willing to take the risk of having it come back up here. Okay, I will be a seller up here at that point. Anyway, I'll cover this trade in just a minute here. Now you can see it's looking pretty good for our breakdown yet again here. Okay, so it's likely to happen, but we'll cover this in just a moment. I do want to get to it, but we'll go over the stops and icebergs in here. Okay, so stops. Who's using a stop order in here? We can look at the NQ as well, but okay, so well, I don't. Did we lose money in here? I think we're up on just one contract, but you know, there's days in here there will be losses. No question about it. No question about it. That's going to happen. But it's again, Dastagear. It's about understanding the supply and demand in here, and putting the probabilities more on your side. Okay? We would have made money on this one too. I don't have time to. Yeah, and it's Mark, it was really good point. Supply and demand, but then it's how you manage that trade. Okay, so where do you go? Okay, I'm not making this up, Dastagar. It's right here in front of us. Okay, so this was like what, a two tick, two tick loss, and you know, we would have made money. I was not willing to. Okay, let's cover this trade and then we'll just move on. I want to go into the stops and icebergs though. Okay, so why did I think this was buying or selling these lows was going to work? Is because we already had the pullback. Okay, so let's take a look. For example, you can see it everywhere. How is this going lower right now on your 15-minute chart? Okay, well, this was a huge move here. Okay, but look at how it's working now, though. We got a pullback, and then it went lower. Okay, we just went lower again, and now I'm looking for a pullback now, actually. Okay, because here you see the wick. So we're likely going to see a pullback. I don't know where, maybe up to about 650 or so, and then we can look again. There's many days that we see like this. In fact, let's look at, put in a little data in here. Like this day here, pullback, wick, pullback, you know, wick. It went lower. So we're going to anticipate that and we're going to look for that. Okay, so and that's what I was trying to cover in here, like, because it's already pulled back, and it pulled back again in here. So we've already withstood a pullback. So now I'm looking for this edge to break. Okay, and then it did. Now I'm looking again for a pullback. Okay, and we've already gotten one here. Maybe we'll get another one. Okay, maybe we'll get one that goes even higher here. You know, maybe it even breaks some of the structure in here. Maybe it comes up to this swing up here, right, and this pullback. Right, then I would look for sellers to come in. All right, so anyway, that's this trade idea in here, and it can be maddening when you're, you know, oh, okay, it's breaking down. I'm gonna, you know, sell the breakdown here. Look for the pullback. Okay, now, if it's already pulled back, then the likelihood of the break is more probable at that time because sellers are in control in the move. All right, we're going to move on. Stops and icebergs. Okay, so here's our stop run. Stop runs, here's a huge one. This was what, 1400, but then we zoomed in and it was, you can see we aggregate them. Now this one was 1300, 40 contracts. This is huge, right? This is how it helps you. This is all of these orders in here are stops. That means, and it's a stop run as well, because all of these stops, all of them in here, these orders, all of them in here that are transacting are all stops. This moved the market lower. It swept the order book from 60.54 and 3/4 all the way down to 60.51 and 3/4. Okay, so it swept it 3 full points, 12 ticks. These are all stops, and they all combine up to 1,340. This is really good understanding that people are getting stopped out, and then you can start to understand, like, okay, you will probably get a bounce after that, because this selling isn't new selling. Okay, after this sweeps the order book here, likely what you'll get is a move back up into where it dropped from, because this is not new selling. Okay, and that's exactly what unfolded here, and then some. Okay, and then now we start to see new selling coming in. Okay, this is understanding in the order flow, understanding the order types that are transacting here. This is giving you a lot of insight of what's going on here. Tremendous amount of insight. It's amazing to me to see this. And this little red line in here is showing us everything. We can see precisely when this one here, you see the red line starts here. Well, this last transaction, after that, this next transaction that took place triggered a whole bunch of stops in the order book. And all those stops triggered into the next price level and triggered more stops and triggered more and more and more. And then they all got filled all the way down to here. Okay, so that gives a lot of insight to, wow, okay, there's capitulation here. If that happens at an important level and you get buyers back up above it, you can look for a move back up into like a mean reversion trade. You can make that into a trading strategy. It can be part of a trading strategy. How will lower stops trigger lower stops? Because suppose, let's just go through this example. Guys, I'm sorry, this has been kind of a weird webinar in the sense that I really wanted to focus on the supply and demand stuff, and we got some of it done, but answering a lot of questions in here has kind of thrown us a little off track. But these are good questions, so it's worth it. So just think about it. Okay, the traders in here that were when they put their stop loss orders in here, there's other traders in some of these other places that put their stop loss orders as well, and they're getting stopped out, and then they're triggering the next price level, and then they're hitting stops as well. Okay, now I don't know. I mean, we don't know if everything in here is a stop loss order, but it likely is, okay, because the way it swept like this. But it could be a larger player, why would they do this? Why would a larger player not do this and come in here and just hit market sell with 1,340 contracts? Because they just moved price against themselves 3 points, right? That's why they use limit orders, and that is the other side of what we're going to talk about. Is they use iceberg order, hidden orders from the order book. Okay, here's some large iceberg orders. Maybe it's these guys here. Maybe they did hit. It's likely it was maybe a stop run from some of these other larger players in here who got it wrong, right? They felt the pain and the squeeze in here. Look at this. Okay, iceberg order 650, 400, 400, 600. And then another one transacting here, another 200. It's a tremendous amount. Okay, these are buyers. These are passive buyers. Okay, that are only a portion is in the order book in here. That is an iceberg. Okay, so we're getting deep insight to not only do we have high liquidity passive buyers here in the live order book that are showing, but we also have passive buyers in here that are getting filled, and they're not showing the majority. They're only showing a tip of the iceberg. When it fills, the other tip or portion is sent to the order book. All right, so this is there's so many different ways to read these stops and icebergs. Here's one in the live market right now. There's actually two at this price level. That's what the /2 means. 240 icebergs have transacted here, and then also some in here. Okay, 190 there on 50 over here. Okay, they're still here. We know that. This is fact. They are still here in the order book, this iceberg. We don't know the depth of it. We don't know if it's 1,000 contracts, if it's 500 contracts. We don't know. That's hidden from us. We just know that they did transact here, and we know that they're still here in the order book. That much we know. Did I answer your question, Shawshank? Get over to Discord. I'm sorry, guys. I kind of let the chat get away over here in Discord. Yeah, that's right, Stephen. The NQ would sweep more typically, just because there's less liquidity in there. It's thinner. Yeah. Let's see here. Looks like your guys' questions are being answered. Alois, cracks me up. No, the H5, and you had 5 like about 20 times there. Yeah, I didn't see it in the chat. All right. Okay, so it gives us the stops and icebergs here give us this deeper insight to the supply and the demand. I mean, this is supply. Look, this guy canceled his order, so he had it, right? The little C means canceled here. T means transaction. D means detected. Okay, so we have the whole evolution of this player using his iceberg order. We don't know what was the size behind it because he canceled the order. Other times you'll see an E. Like this 100 or E 2687. This one we do know it was fully executed for that amount. Okay, so you'll see that here's another E for 105. So this fully executed, this iceberg order. Alan, you need to press the pause button there, and then you have to reopen it basically. I know it's not ideal, but you can play around with it, and you're not losing any data. Okay, it's not restarting the MBO data. It's still in there. Okay, all right, so let's go through another one in here, guys. So again, what did we just talk about in terms of pullback and then breakdown? Okay, it can be so maddening. So start to understand the behavior and the price action, and then look for the order flow to support that behavior. So here we go. Remember how we left off in here? Exactly here. Pullbacks and then breakdowns. Pullbacks and then breakdowns. Well, here it is. It's beautiful. Here it is over here too. We traded that one. We're actually looking for a little bit more out of it here on the move up, and we got out of it. And then we sold the breakdown here, and note how we did this here. We only look for a little bit of a break, and then we get a big pullback. Okay, so we're seeing it again in here. Okay, so now it just broke lows. Now look at the order flow in here might be starting to kind of shift and change. Time of day is also, we're getting close to the European close, and it's the weekend. It's Friday. Okay, so let's take a look in here. Now we're getting a pullback already after breaking here. Let's see if these buyers can pull back even further now. See how they broke the structure here? And they came up to this swing up here. Heck, we can just use the candles. Hold on a minute. Okay. So anyway, this is something good for you guys over in Discord and part of the Bookmap Academy. This is if we go through like these swings and candles and then relate this information here to the order flow is one way to look at it. We're looking for these pullbacks, so we are anticipating these pullbacks, and then we're looking for the continuation. Okay, now we may get a reversal out of this too. This is when we can start to look for that reversal when we start to see a shift in the change in the order flow. Okay, the easiest way to cover that one is to show you in Bookmap Learning Center here. Okay, strategies and setups. We just have a few in here, and this one on head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, okay, and how it looks. Right, so it's this here, and this shift and change, heavy selling into high liquidity, pullback, no buying, very little buying, heavy selling into high liquidity, pullback, a little bit of buying coming in, deeper pullback as well, more selling, but it makes a slightly lower low and a real deep pullback equal to the previous pullback here. Now we see a lot more buying and we see little selling. Okay, so we're seeing this transition take place. Okay, and that's what we're going to look for in here too. Okay, so here's our maybe the head of the head and shoulders. Here's our equal up here. Okay, so and we're starting to see buyers in here. Okay, all right, so we might start to see kind of a reversal unfold at this point. Okay, market pulse. Yeah, I remember. Let's go over market pulse as well. We'll throw that in here. And how to use market pulse for some scalps as well. Here it is. Volume pressure. We can use, which one do you want to look at? You want to look at volume pressure imbalance, or you want to look at pace of tape, or we have all sorts of algos in here. Price change. A lot of guys have been using price change, pace of tape, and volume imbalance. Okay. So I've got volume pressure imbalance on the ES Trader Map Pro. Let's go. All right, and then let's add another one in here, and we'll look at the pace of tape imbalance. This one, I love both of these. Okay, for the same instrument. There we go. Okay, and we got them both here. All right, so there's your volume pressure imbalance, here's your pace of tape imbalance, and we've got them also in the subchart here. They are so close to each other, they're kind of overlapping, in fact. Look at that. And I don't know about you guys, I love seeing this in the subchart. Here's our potential reversal starting to unfold. Okay, like we were just saying. Okay, so now I'm still looking for some sellers in here, right? And maybe we can even take another scalp in here, so we can use market pulse here. So I'm looking for some extreme buying and maybe up into this high liquidity, and then I want to see a pullback here and maybe into some of the demand areas in here. Okay. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play it two ways. We're going to get in, okay, and then I'm going to look for the pullback here, and then I'm going to place another one up here, okay, into that high liquidity, because we might not get it. So we'll just, this way, we're looking for our pullback. Now we broke above the swing. We're looking for our pullback. Where might our pullback go? Well, we're already starting to see some demand here coming in. Okay, is it real? Are they going to pull? We don't know. I'm going to actually front run this liquidity in here, and this is where we see that buying come in again. So that would be where I would look for more demand in here, and that will be my target then on this pullback. Okay, now you can see like it was short-lived so far. We're back up here. This demand came in here, and we're finding aggressor demand in here. So likely we're going to trade up into this liquidity in here. Okay, for you fib guys, you guys trading fibs, maybe this is something to consider too. So, look at your big candle here, and then maybe on your range or your range in here, and then you're looking for a pullback. Well, maybe it's 50%, maybe it's your 61.8, whatever it is. Then look for liquidity to support that idea. Okay? And look for demand at some of these levels where you have your fib level. I still think we're going to go lower here. I know I see it, and we're trading into it right there, and it's telling us something, right? So maybe I should get out. I don't know. I'm kind of looking for a deeper pullback here by the sell side. Now I'm hearing my market pulse come in as well. So that's not good. Here's how to use market pulse and pace of tape. Here's high liquidity, and then we see that extreme selling in here. Okay, so maybe I should just cut my winners here, cut my winner a little short. Let's see if we can get it turning around. If I see buyers up in here, I'm out. If I see the sellers come back in, I'll stay in. There, in fact, why don't we just do this? Okay, so we'll get a point out of it, basically. All right, now look at this demand come in here. All right, so I'll move my take profit up to that area, I think, and we're stopped out. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm in 2 contracts there, so I just made a mistake. I'm going to exit. Okay, my bad on that. That's a that was an entry here. So all right, so we took a little bit bigger of a loss on that one, but that's user error. All right, so anyway, we answered your questions on stops, icebergs, also a little bit of market pulse there. Okay, it was actually telling us probably to exit at that point, and then I was maybe a little stubborn and didn't listen to it, and I thought, well, I'm looking for a deeper pullback because of the market structure, and the market was telling us something there. Maybe this is where you take it. Okay, so I should have listened, you can make your trading a little more mechanical like that, and that should be helpful for. All right, let's see. A few more questions in here. On. Let me see a few questions in here. The /2 means that, Mark, there was 2 icebergs there. Oh, if you don't see it in there, okay, so go here to your settings, and it won't be on this one. We've got to go back to our original instrument, and then open it up here. All right, and then you'll see all the different settings in here. Let's see if we can find it here. Show multiple icebergs per price level. You may or may not see it in here. Well, it's going to be one of these settings in here. Show the number of icebergs. That's it right here. Show iceberg number. Right there you go. So just toggle that, and then you're good to go. No, Liam, you can trade right from the Bookmap chart here, like we're doing in this webinar. Buck, let's see. You see specialists talking about Bookmap in every webinar. A book over here from the Bookmap side, from the Bookmap team, or just out there on the internet in general. Teach you how to get in the market and start making good money. Are you able to comprehend what's going on in there? Take positions? Absolutely. That's what we're doing here in the live market. That's one of the biggest points of this webinar, is to go through in the live market and show it, demo it in the live market. Right? Because you can read it. Okay, here's our deeper pullback, right? This is kind of what we're looking for. Yeah, I'm taking positions in here and showing you. I'm sorry, I just don't quite follow your point. Yeah, I mean, regarding other platforms, yeah, you can see I'm using this is Rhythmic R Trader Pro, and I'm connected to Rhythmic Data, and this is free. So I don't need much though. I just need to understand, specific price levels in here, and then as you guys can see, I'm kind of reading the order flow, or trying to read the order flow here, and gain some insight in kind of bigger picture, and then look at Bookmap. For Bookmap to tell me that is unfolding, and if I see something in the candlesticks here that is supported differently in the order flow, then I'll stay away from it. Yeah, this is not a trading room, Bach, if that's what you're saying. And Alois, thank you. This is education, and we're going through and taking live positions in here, but it is in demo. You can see it's up. This is actually something to also mention. We just had a competition that we finished, and you guys can trade using that same trade simulator and trade into your well, this was going into my Rhythmic account, but it's a demo Rhythmic account, but you can trade into your simulated account here, okay, in Bookmap. This is our 24/7 simulator here. It's a new kind of playground we made for you guys to test trades, etc. In here. Okay, Buck, there's so many different ways to trade, and my job is to cover the basics and try to cover what you guys are looking at, how it might help you for your trading. And it's not about my way of trading. Okay, if you're interested in more of that, I'll show you where to go. Okay, you can go to the Learning Center. Just go to bookmap.com, and then you can go to education, and you can scroll down. You can see all these other educators we have in here that stream every day, and then come down to our these are free. These are all free. Okay, so here's today, Friday. So earlier we had Allison from the Brazilian markets. He's right here, Allison Santos. And then here's my webinar here. And then Tom B is next. He's a volume profile trader. Okay, and we had Options Millionaire. We have Doug with options. We had Scott Pulsini yesterday. We had all these special events in here for the MBO data. We also had the Bookmap Academy, where You take trades, you document them, you write them up, you go through and the same kind of analysis using a checklist. We really highly recommend a checklist. And then here, I'll show it to you over here in Discord. Okay, so it's in here in our Discord channel, Bookmap Academy. Yeah, here's Malek from yesterday. Here's Vinny. Vinny's been doing amazing content for a while. Here's his checklist. Here's the date. Here's what he's looking for. He takes the trade. He looks for high liquidity. He's targeting up in here. He's got a fib level, and he got an 11-point move out of that. Okay, targeting high liquidity. You do this, and then you come to the meeting on Thursdays, and we go through the content, and we will give you coaching feedback on it. All right, hope that helps. So we we went through a lot of stuff, and guys, that potential reversal is unfolding here that we were looking for, almost, pretty much to the T here. That kind of transition from sell to buy takes place. We thought this might be the head. It was. Okay, and we started to note that because this little structure was broken on buying. More selling, but more buying starts to come back in, breaks it again. And then we just wanted to trade this down to here. And then we demoed Market Pulse as well. We took something out of it and then just, oh no, I'm sorry, I made an error in here is what I did. And then now we're seeing the buyers meet the sellers up here. Okay, now, are we going to get more demand in here? I don't know. We'll see. Right? I would actually look for, we're trading into it. So after trading into supply, we look for either some sideways action or a pullback typically. Okay. So we might not get it. We might see more aggressive buyers here willing to trade back up into this liquidity here at 58. And that's what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. So there's still more demand. It hasn't met enough supply to quench the thirst yet. All right. Yeah, I would encourage you to come over to the Bookmap Discord and the Bookmap Academy if you guys are interested in that. We're happy to go through your content and give you feedback on it. Okay? There's a recording from yesterday's. You can see previous recordings to get a feel for what it is. All right, guys. I think that's it. Tom B is up. He's next. So if you want to come over to our Discord, you'll find it right from the website. Here, I'll show you the link here. Oh, guys, new. I forgot to mention this here. I don't know if you've seen this yet. I'll cover it. I'll be away next week. Actually, I'll be back on Friday next week. But we have new. Check out the graphics in here and the metrics in here on the new trading journal we have here. Fantastic, nice work. And then you got your trades table here. These are some of the trades that we just took. I think. Hold on a minute. Let me see. NQ. We didn't take trades in NQ. I might not have the trade journal on for this session. That might be the issue here. But anyway, yeah, you can see your profit and loss in here. How many it went for you, how many it went against you, etc. So you don't need to spend money on a trading journal either. Look, we're still looking for when this reversal is taking place. Nice move. Nice move. Okay, I'm still looking now for, we still find more demand, okay, and they're going to trade with supply. Okay, maybe that's it. Let's see here. Yeah, no, there's still more demand. Okay, pulling liquidity. You see that? They pulled. Okay, so maybe 61 is the next level here. Anyway, this is kind of a straight up move almost, so we're looking for a pullback, and now we're getting it. Okay, look where it went, and we should get a little bounce off out of here too. Again, we don't know, but it's just supply and demand. You know, this is where the buyers came in and moved it. This is where we're looking for them to support it. So we're getting a little bit of bounce, and we see some of that, not just support, we see some of the demand in here and liquidity. You can't make this stuff up. Anyway, guys, thanks for coming. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys next Friday. Looking forward to it. Have a few days off, but yeah, it should be good to see. Get some time off. All right. So yeah, thanks for coming, everybody, and we'll catch up with you next Friday. Bye bye.